Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Harakakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of the great most on it, all well. Shalom to all the brothers doing the work of sincerity and truth. Yeah, so, Elon's got the green light on basically his, particular brand of implant basically going forward. And, it's a big deal. We'll we'll see how it shakes out because it was like 2019 or something when it was first mentioned. I think maybe 2020. I think it was 2020. They said like end of 2020 they're trying to get it by, but it's been pushed back, and there's been other companies already doing it. But obviously with Neuralink, then we're looking at something on a higher kind of scale, because it's been the one that's kind of had the what do you call it? It's been the one that's had the big push globally. They had the big presentation with the monkeys moving like the little joystick thing, and then they removed it, and it was like, yeah, they were moving it with the with the implant in their head and whatnot. So as on the mirror, it says Elon Musk's mind control chip is cleared for human testing despite monkey deaths. And yeah, just the risks associated. Who'd have thought? It says human trials will start. Well, okay. So it says human trials are set to start soon for Elon Musk's brain chip implants after his company gained FDA approval on Thursday. Neuralink, the brain chip company founded by Musk, has announced it has received approval from the US FDA to proceed with its first human tests. The project aims to restore vision and mobility by establishing a direct connection between human brain and computers, and that's been the angle they've had. But then again, it ties in with the big thing he was saying is trying to humanity needs to merge with AI. It's essentially just a transhumanism where you're meant to ascend beyond just being human. You can fuse with AI, fuse with computers, and then and essentially surpass the flesh. That's the allure. That's the marketing. That's what's being spoken about. And always begins with helping out, because it was the same thing with the Karag one with that. They'll basically when they're pushing it back in early 2010, saying, oh, you can get it. It'll be like same as with implanting your dog, like you can find it if it gets lost, blah blah blah, which I think they passed the law where legally you have to do that in certain countries. I think in the UK, or maybe parts of the UK, or they tried to. But then what now is the human one is, oh, you can have your medical details if you got any allergies or blah blah blah, or if you require you've got certain health conditions, or you're getting up in age, you can basically have the details of how to keep yourself safe on there. But then what's the way is the final use of it is tying it into that system where what buying and selling these things all bound within that implant that you can't separate from. So then you basically means of navigating society are tied into that. And then these are things that you can see progressing, because you have the CBDC, and that's something that has been trialed in a lot of countries. But in China, they already ran with it. Same with like the social credit score. That's something in China they've been running with. And these things are wanting to be pushed out by the elites on a broader scale. But there needs to be the justification, and the minds of the people need to be molded for it, so they can take it. So that's why it starts with healthcare aid, restoring limb movement, etc. But then it's the same with anything. It's gonna they're gonna make it into a product, and then those with the most money, they're going to get the most benefit. They're going to be trying to make themselves, the elites are going to be using it to try and become superhuman. But then what, on the lower levels, it'll be a form of control, man. While Neuralink has not yet revealed its immediate plans for participant recruitment, the approval marks a significant milestone. Previous attempts to gain FDA approval were reportedly rejected due to safety concerns based on statements from current and former employees. Macaque monkeys have been used in testing by Neuralink. The company acknowledged it killed 6 monkeys because of health problems caused by experiments. And I remember, you saw the monkeys, they had their fucking brains just hanging out. But that's Esau's, but that's supposedly you're gonna get Esau's blessing, eh? Your brain just hanging out your head, and they're jamming in some wires, and a fucking iPhone in there. So as I say, experts in the field have cautioned that Neuralink's brain implants will require extensive testing to address both technical and ethical challenges before they can be made widely available. In a Twitter announcement, Neuralink described the FDA approval as an important step that will ultimately enable the technology to benefit people. And that's the law. Original plan was to implant in human brains by 2020. Yeah, so I think that was originally when they didn't get FDA approval. But these things are moving forward. Prophecy speaking. That's why it's the hopeful year. Because now we're seeing all these things coming to manifest. Revelation 13 and 16 says, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Yeah. So small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. On all these different layers and levels, it's what? They're all basically going to be tied into that same system. That's the draw. That's how it has been marketed. Even, it's like with what was it called? The one Virgin Galactic. Is it Blue something? The Amazon one. So it was SpaceX for Elon, and then the Amazon one was Blue something. The space travel, basically, where it was like to I think Virgin Galactic was saying it was going to be 250 grand a ticket, and then it was basically like sold out to celebrities, people with money. These that's like the one for the layer for those that are still within the system, but on a higher tier, like those celebrities, like guys that might, millionaires and whatnot, guys on a lower level. And that's the, there's still going to be people getting that karagma, man, getting that rice grain. Because why? It's like musicians and whatnot. These guys don't, they're given a certain amount of leeway. They've within the system, they're able to do a bit more, but they're not on the elite level. So they're still gonna have to be in the system, man. They're still gonna be utilizing that. Just as now, they're utilizing dollars and whatnot. And they can still, get headlocked and thrown in jail for tax evasion and certain things. They're not on that top level. This is what no man might buy or sell, so if he the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And without that, you ain't gonna be able to deal within the system. And that's how it's gonna run. A lot of these guys are basically gonna be stuck having to utilize it to get anything done. What was it? Oh yeah. And Revelation 16:1, and I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, go your way and pour out the vials of wrath of the Most High upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. So yeah, that sore, that's going to be what it already said. You know, the monkeys dropping dead during the test, dealing with this, you know, utilizing this system, you know, basically being like, nah, I'm going to throw in my lot with Esau. Lo and behold, you're going to get a reward, man. It's going to seem like, you know, you're getting a blessing from Esau. That's how people are looking at it. They're like, oh, you're going to have Google in your brain. You know, you're going to have it where it's like in science fiction. What's it called? It's called cyberpunk future, where it's like, you know, you have the cybernetic eye, and then you'll be able to look and people's faces, the information's going to come up and shit. You know, you're going to be with the cybernetic arm. So if a train's coming, you could pop out the cybernetic arm and then stop it. You know, these are how people are thinking these things are going to go. But what's the true reward you're going to get is you're going to get that saw, and then you're going to get the judgment, basically. That's really what's going to be going down. You're going to be getting put on smash. Because why? Because you've basically thrown in with Esau, man. Because why? What does it say? Isaiah 14 and 9, it says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Yeah, this basically all this glory that Esau's built up around himself, all this so-called honor, you know, basically the image that everyone's looking at, like, damn, like who can even contend, man? They're looking at America's military capabilities, like, yo, who can even deal with that? They're looking at technology, they're looking at the iPhones, electricity, cars, aeroplane, like, damn, who's even got the ingenuity to come up with, like, who can deal with this man? Who can do it? But all of that, the worm's gonna be spread, man. That destruction's gonna be waiting for you, man. It's all gonna rot and decay. Because why? It's been granted. It's been given for a season. Just as with Pharaoh in Egypt. Egypt was being looked at like, damn. Like the just as now, Israelites were in hardcore bondage back then, getting annihilated, getting smacked up, and it was just like, yo. when Aaron and Moses came through and said, yo, let the people go so they can go out to the wilderness and basically serve their power. I was like, what? I was like, what? Who what? Who these? But then what's the result? As the judgments, as the curses start coming down, it got to the point where Egypt was being looked at like, damn, like, Egypt still even exists? It's done, man. It's toast. And that's what we're seeing happening now as prophecies are moving. It's what Esau's building things up. He's preparing. He's getting to that point where it's all coming to a head. He thinks he's basically cementing it. He thinks he's gonna put a capstone on the pyramid. But then what? Job 20 and let's see, start from 20. It says, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he's eating. Yeah. So now we're getting to that point where it's looking like these guys are thinking they're gonna eat. These different rice grain being pushed out, And it's being sold that it's been bound into the image, and people are accepting the image. They're basically gonna be like, damn, when the full on system integration comes up, like, okay, we'll be down. It's like, it's just where life's going. You're gonna fuse with technology. You're gonna get the AI in your brain and shit. That's how they're looking at it. But then what? That's the trap. That's the trick. Is Esau's being he's being caught in a trap. It's like when you see them traps they have where it's like a cage, being held, like, and there's a little stick, and then they have food, like the plate of food in there, and then animal comes in, starts interacting, then bang, it springs a trap, and then they get caught in the trap. That's what's happening with Esau. Him engaging with these systems. As far as for him, he's thinking like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna be able to cement all this. I'm actually gonna get it. I'm gonna attain, what he thinks he's gonna attain godhood. But how's it actually gonna roll out? He's basically gonna get caught and become, that legendary victim and the most spectacular target of destruction, so that the name of Yahweh Hashem Yashab Hashem Harakah Kadash can be exalted. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yashab Hashem Harakah Kadash. Shalom.